morning, folks, and you're very welcome to our West Limerick Resources hosted what is our third webinar in our series. And today we are looking at the whole retail sector and looking at employment in that area. I'd like to welcome everybody, our participants and our presenters, and to thank our presenters very much for their time and their knowledge to give to us today. My own name is Adrienne O'Connell. I'm working with West Limerick Resources as the Education and Training Coordinator, and my colleague Eddie O'Shaughnessy is here on screen with us as well, and I'll introduce everybody else as we go along. We're going to head straight into it and make the most of our time this morning. I'd like to welcome and speak first with Trish Collins. And Trish, you are the store manager with Supervalu in Abbeyfeale, is my understanding.
Yep, that's it.
Great. Trish, just a couple of questions in relation to the whole retail sector and your own experience and what you do there in the store. Straight into it, what do you look for when you're hiring somebody into this business?
So when we're looking for someone, one of the first things we'd say is someone who's a good positive attitude and a good positive outlook, because you're dealing with members of the public the whole time, and some of them are coming in and you might be the only person they could see for one end of the day to the next. So a nice hi, how are you, all that, but a good positive attitude is what we'd look for. Mm-hmm. Also someone with good communication skills, because you're working as part of a team. As you know, retail, there's a lot of people working in retail. We have a lot of people working here, and you have to be able to work together and help each other out sometimes. You have to be able to say, yeah, do you know what, the lads and the tills are really busy and I'm till trained. Lads, do you need a hand there? Just to be able to help each other out, because every day is different, and as much as you would plan for a day, sometimes things can go a little bit of initiative kind of.
Yeah,
so you need to be able to work as part of the team so that the day goes smoothly. And just someone with a genuine interest and who might have a passion for retail. It's a very busy job. You're kept going the whole time. So someone who would just would like retail and be able to work as part of a team.
Okay, very good, yeah. And just in relation then to the whole area of qualifications and experience, what do you think would be the minimum type of qualifications or experience that you would expect somebody coming in with?
No, it would depend on the position they apply for. But say, for example, a sales assistant, if they had some retail experience, if we're looking for a full-time sales assistant, if they had some retail, it doesn't necessarily have to be grocery. It could be other retail as well, be it clothing or anything like that. We would like to have them a bit of that. But we'd always be open to training people. Like here, they're very good for training people. We take them on. We have a good training program here, and we'd work with them to get them to the level that we need them at.
Okay. Do you tend to look for junior certificate, leaving certificate, that kind of level, or a qualification, something that could be looked at on an individual basis?
More on an individual basis and depending on the position, but we would like a junior certificate, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then I suppose, Trish, what are the things applicants should try and avoid doing or saying or writing when they're applying for a job?
I suppose sometimes what we see a lot here is their CVs can be a bit mixed up with regards to dates and stuff, and you're trying to figure out where were they working, when, were they doing two jobs? Sometimes people would have the month or the year mixed up in a CV. So we'd like to have that clear just so we can see what they were doing and what experiences they got from working in that job at that time. A good clear short CV.
Okay.
Nothing too long. And again, even when they're applying, some people would just say, I want to get out of the house for a few hours. It's a job, you need to be able to work at it, but that's it. Like a good CV is so important.
It's very interesting to hear you say that. I suppose we're always suggesting this to people, but it's great to hear it from an employer's point of view as to what they might be looking for as regards to CV. And then Trish, I suppose, what do you think anyone applying for this type of work should know about before they apply? Should they know a bit about the job itself? Should they do a bit of research? What do you think yourself?
Yeah, even a bit of research. Always do a bit of research on the company you're applying for, be it Supervalu or anywhere else. Know that it's hard work. It's tough going. You have to be able to take direction. There's a lot of training. There's time management as well. You have to be good at time. You be keeping an eye on the clock. You have to get certain tasks completed by a certain time. But again, good communication and working as part of the team is so important, because in retail, teams can be pretty big, and at the end of the day, you all have to have the same goal to be working towards, so that the day just runs smoothly. And to be able to use your initiative as well is so important, not to be relying on someone to tell you, yeah, this has to be done. If you see a job that has to be done, it's urgent. Yeah, just to get it sorted. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, that is great. Trish, thank you very much. Very valuable information, and great to hear it from the employer themselves, So thank you very much indeed.
Thanks very much.
Now, we'll move on a little bit now, and just touching on areas that we spoke to Trish about there around qualifications maybe and things like that. I'd like to welcome Sile O'Riordan from the Limerick and Clare Education and Training Board's local office here in West Limerick area. Sile manages all of the programs in the West Limerick area. Sile, you're very welcome back to us, and thank you for joining with us today.
Hello.
You have a presentation for us, I believe.
So I'm working with the part-time programs in West Limerick in Newcastle West and Abbeyfeale campuses, and we do a lot of provision in a lot of areas in non-accredited up to QQI level 5, and particularly looking at areas that might be of interest for people that would be interested in following on with a career in the retail sector. So I suppose you're looking at adding to the skills you already have. And as adults, we all bring skills with us to whatever new adventure we're going on. So now, our courses are part-time, and part-time usually means between 2 and 4 hours a week for a number of weeks. Now, that could be in the mornings, or it could be in the afternoons, or in the evening time. So there's a great deal of flexibility about it. We branch programs in different categories, and the first category we would talk about would be non-accredited programs, which would be short taster programs, maybe for 6 or 8 weeks. It might be something like social media, podcasting, local history, and maybe an introduction to computers. Then we look at programs at level 3, 4, and 5, which would have a different commitment to it. So when you're looking at something like level 5, maybe digital marketing or customer service, you could look at that program would probably run from September to May of a given year, maybe 3 or 4 hours a week, usually in the mornings in that situation. So sample courses we would have that would be suitable for somebody considering going into the retail industry would be, non-accredited again would be around digital skills and social media. At QQI level 3, you're looking at your communications, your IT skills, and there would be modules then on retail sales, retail transactions, that type of thing. And I suppose the core skills that would be very important regardless of the area you would go into would be your communication skills and your IT skills. They're the basic foundation of, in any job nowadays. So then you're going on to QQI level 4, which would be kind of a higher level. Again, you're looking at specific modules related to IT. So these modules in IT would be maybe spreadsheets or word processing, so that you're getting a good level of competency in the area you're working in. Again, your retail sales, whether it's payment transactions, retail selling, customer service. And then up at level 5, a part of the modules we would deliver again would be customer service, customer experience, which would be a combination of the customer service aspects of the selling and the industry, but also looking at working on the IT skills and having specific IT skills. And also another one we would be digital marketing, which is very much aimed around selling and promoting online. We are a part-time service working with adults that are returning to learning, and we're very aware that it's not a very straightforward issue and that there are things that can cause difficulty at the start of a program that people need support around. So the first thing I would say, all our courses are free of charge. We help with online registration or advice around choice of modules or different things that may need to be considered. Currently, programs are delivered through blended learning, which is a mixture of in-person classes and online classes. Now, we're waiting for guidance for September, but I expect that it'll probably be more in person than online, but I expect that we will certainly have a balance of both. And I would say, don't be put off by the online side of things, because we give a lot of support to learners around getting online. There are laptops available for loan. There's support around, the classes and how classes work online. And we spend quite a bit of time at the start of every class making sure everybody is comfortable and confident with the different functions of working on Teams, which is the package that classes are delivered through. So then we would have learning supports around, do you need help with how to type up assessments or on Word, or how to save, or how to do the different things, or maybe it's help around writing assignments or referencing or anything like that. While these are important parts of doing your awards, they're not meant to be barriers, and we're there to support somebody that's going through their class to make sure that all these things fall in place with people. You may also have experience in this area. You might have worked in a shop and when you were in your teenagers, or you might have skills in that could actually be brought and would help, that you may not have to do all the modules that would be needed to get the award. So we have somebody that could sit and go through that with you and look at what the options might be with that. All our information is on learningandskills.ie/NCW. I would say, don't be shy. Call into us in the centre in Abbeyfeale, or up in the bungalow next to Desmond College. Or, we also have a new campus down across the way from West Limerick Resources that we hope will be more open than shut in the coming September. We're always there. There's always somebody with a smile on their face to say hello and maybe give a bit of advice and help. So that's really all I have to say for today. So thank you. And you know where we are.
Thank you, Sheila. Very comprehensive. It's great to get it in one block there, and especially for localized training, and for people maybe starting off and looking at it. I suppose it struck me after hearing Trish and then listening to your presentation that a lot of people might not actually think that there are courses out there that you can do for the retail sector, and specific skills and courses that can help to, I suppose, make people a little bit more employable in the sector, if you like. The different levels of education is very interesting, so people can start off at even non-accredited, as you said,
Yeah, and everything helps. And, like the saying about the CV and the presentation and the attitude, people are adding all the time, and they might even be just the case of the introduction to computers might give you the confidence to face up to send in that application and do that interview.
Yeah. Sheila, thank you very much. I'd like to welcome Cliona Kelly from Limerick College of Further Education. You're very welcome to join us today, Cliona, and thank you for your participation.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Cliona Kelly. I'm one of the deputy principals here in Limerick College of Further Education. Delighted to be here this morning, and thank you for inviting us. Limerick College of Further Education. We are a Limerick and Clare Education and Training Board College of Further Education and Training, and we're located here in Mulgrave Street, right in the centre of Limerick City. We offer over 70 programmes across a very diverse range of disciplines, but we have a wide range of programmes to suit all learners, specialising, I suppose we specialise mainly at level 5 and level 6 on the National Framework of Qualifications, particularly through our full-time provision. So we offer both full and part-time provision, but our full-time provision will be mainly at level 5 and level 6. The vast majority of our programs are awarded by QQI. So we're further education and training, and we cover many different disciplines, from business, IT, to beauty, to science, to hairdressing, media, childcare, healthcare, sport and science. And I suppose just maybe to look for a minute at the benefits, and I know Sheila has talked about this, but the benefits of doing a further education and training program, there are a lot of benefits. One of the benefits is that if somebody's interested maybe in accessing even or progressing onto higher education, you have the potential to earn 390 CEO points. Doing a further education and training program will allow you the opportunity to gain the knowledge, the skills, the competence to be ready for the workplace. It also it provides you with links to higher education. So a large number of the universities and institutes of technology and private colleges offer places to QQI CEO applicants through the Higher Education Link Scheme. And this is a scheme which links specific QQI level 5 and level 6 certificates to a number of reserved places on higher education programs. So as well as the higher education link schemes, I suppose here at LCFE, we have also over the years created a number of local links with higher education institutions. So we work with LIT, we have a collaboration agreement with LIT where any learner who has successfully completed a QQI level 5 certificate are offered entry to LIT courses. And we also have links with Tralee IT and Mary Immaculate College as well. So we have a number of options in our business department, a wide variety of options, but I know this morning we're looking particularly at the retail sector. And just maybe to home in on some of the courses that we offer here in LCFE that would be suitable maybe for somebody who is interested in pursuing a career in the retail sector. So in our full-time provision, when I say full-time provision, I mean courses that would run from September to May. So they would run for the full academic year, Monday to Friday. We have a QQI level 5 certificate retail studies. It's a QQI level 5 certificate in retail practice. And this course is designed, I suppose, to provide learners with a good foundation in retail administration, retail selling, visual merchandising, such as shop displays and signage. We have fashion styling, visual merchandising and buying, which is also a QQI level 5 retail practice certificate. And here learners would develop skills to work maybe within the fashion retail sector. We have customer service operations, which is a QQI level 5 contact center operations. And this might be suitable for somebody who is interested maybe in going into work maybe in a call center or a contact center, perhaps in the retail sector. We know now with all the online retailing, etc., a lot of retail operations have call centers and contact centers. We have a business studies, a general business studies, QQI level 5 certificate in business administration. And this is a general business studies program, I suppose, designed for somebody maybe who wish to pursue a career in the business sector. Again, many useful modules on that program for somebody who was interested in working in the retail, like customer service, communications. Marketing is another one that might be very useful. We have a QQI level 5 certificate in marketing, and marketing is an integral part of any modern business. So here you would be developing skills maybe in digital marketing, customer service, consumer psychology, pricing, communications. And we also then have an advanced certificate in business, which is a QQI level 6 certificate. And here, I suppose in this particular program, learners are developing a solid foundation in business and portfolio skills used in the management, maybe marketing, planning, and financing of a business enterprise. All our full-time programs would incorporate, what we would say transversal soft skill modules like communications, many of them as well, customer service. And I know Trish mentioned earlier there, about the importance of the soft skills, good communication skills, good team working skills. And even within the communications modules, and all of our business programs would take communications. One of the skills you develop is CV preparation, job interview preparation, and even part of the assessment is an actual job interview. So any of those programs would be suitable, I suppose, for somebody maybe who was interested in going in or pursuing a career in retail. Our part-time provision is run mainly through our evening courses, and number of programs there, and they range in duration. So some programs might run for 10 weeks, it might be 1 night a week, 2 hours. Other programs then, for example, the Diploma in Human Resource Development there, ICM, which is the Institute of Commercial Management, would run for the full academic year, September to May, 1 night a week for 3 hours. So our part-time provision is run through the evening courses, but a number of courses there as well that might be suitable for people and might suit people as well with maybe other commitments, family commitments, etc. Management studies, digital marketing, e-business and business management, and the Diploma in Human Resource Development. I suppose, the reasons to come to LCFE, just some of the things maybe to highlight, I suppose, just about LCFE. It's a very dynamic, thriving educational environment. Assistance with learning. We have huge learning supports here, huge resources for learning supports. We have a dedicated learning hub and a dedicated learning support officer working in the learning hub that is there to help learners with assistance with their assignments, with their coursework. We also have 2 guidance counsellors on site at all times, also available to support learners. So there's a huge array of supports available. We also operate a laptop loan device scheme. So there's a huge supports with your learning when you are undertaking a program here with us in LCFE. Our full-time provision then, how do you apply? We're open. Our application system is currently open. You can apply online through www.lcfe.ie. So our website, I suppose, is a great resource for information. Application costs €20 and it allows you to apply for 2 courses. Our system is currently open, and any further information you might need or require, you can email apply@lcfe.ie, and that's for our full-time courses. And for our part-time provision, again, you can go to our website, www.lcfe.ie, and further information for our part-time provision can be got at adultaid@lcfe.ie. So you'll get that information on our website. But there's a huge amount of information on our website in relation to particular programs that we run as well. And also this year, because of being in the pandemic and being in lockdown, we had a virtual open day. So our virtual open day is available on our website. You can access it. And here you will have heads of departments and course coordinators giving information in relation to particular courses and answering, I suppose, the frequently asked questions. So that's available on our website if you wanted to link into that. And as well, and Sheila would have mentioned this earlier, the learning and skills.ie website. So just to maybe if you're to look at all the courses available within Limerick and Clare Education and Training Board, the starting point would be the website www.learningandskills.ie, and here you can just enter your key search word retail, and that will bring up all the retail programs available and on offer, both full and part-time provision within the Limerick and Clare Education and Training Board. And also, which might be very useful for people on that as well, through that website, there is an information recruitment and guidance support service, and you can make an appointment, where you can get advice on courses, etc., and you can get an appointment with an information recruitment and guidance support officer as well. So LCFE, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, guys, as well, for keep up with us and link in with us. And again, if you have any specific information, just contact the college, or information that you require, you can contact the college. So thank you very much.
Cliona, brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Huge amount of information there, and we really appreciate your contribution this morning. I suppose for an awful lot of possible participants that are with us, the contact details and the websites and that are very important, and the difference between the full-time, part-time courses. And I think also the difference between the courses that are offered locally, as Sheila spoke about, and then looking at the courses in LCFE. So huge amount of information right on the button, and thank you very much, Cliona. Hopefully you'll be able to stay with us. We have a number of questions coming in, so we'll take them towards the end.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll move us on, folks, if that's okay. I'd very much like to welcome Mike Moloney. Hello, Mike. How are you doing?
Morning, Adrian.
Good. Mike and myself know each other for quite a while now at this stage. And I suppose, Mike, you're working locally in the retail sector, very close to us here next door. Isn't that right? So can you tell people where you're working, Mike?
Just the other side of the wall from you, Adrian. I'm at Garvey's Centre on St. Mary's Road here in Newcastle West. There since November 2016.
Ah, brilliant. My gosh, is it that many years? I didn't actually think it was that many years. Okay, Mike, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that retail work that you now have a lot of experience of. And can you tell me maybe what you like best about it? Because you've been there for quite a few years now.
Well, I suppose I had an interest, I would say, from the retail side of things going back over a long number of years. My father and his brother had a retail base here in Newcastle West over close to 40 odd years ago. Now it was a petrol station back in the day, and then they moved into a shop side of things after that, and that's where the interest came for it. And I suppose where I actually got back into it, if you like, was one Sunday evening, the middle of the summer. The vagaries of modern technology. We were sitting at home one night, my daughter saw online that Garvey's were looking for someone for the forecourt side of things, and I was lucky enough that I had an up-to-date CV at home at the time, which I had done with Liam Doyle of the Jobs Club, and Helen would know Liam as well, and I chatted with her. I updated the CV there recently, and I suppose one of the things that I found is that a good CV goes a long way, and that was the help. And the interview came about on a Tuesday, and I was asked to come back. I got another phone call on a Thursday to know was I still interested in the job, and could I start on the following Tuesday. And as I said, the rest is history after that. And one of the things I found as well over the time is that a person should get to know their local area. Where there was a couple they wanted to go from Galway to Cork, but for some reason they missed their turn off at the Limerick side of it. They ended up at Garvey Centre next door, and I was able to give them directions on how to get back onto the main road. And
it's very interesting, Mike, actually, to hear you say that after listening to Trish this morning around the customer service and the communications and being able to speak to people and that, and it feeds right into what she was saying in your experience now. I was going to ask you what surprised you most about working in the sector, but I think you might have that covered already with what people might come in with in the shop. I suppose, Mike, because of your experience now at this stage, what do you think would be the 3 key skills or qualities that anybody working in the retail sector needs to have?
Well, you build them up over the course of time, but being part of a team, you have to work together as part of that team, and you have your floor manager and your store managers, that if you have any particular issue that you can't deal with yourself, just go to them and say, look, that customers might bring something to your attention, and if you can deal with it yourself, well and good, or if not, you pass that on to your next your store manager or floor manager, and they'll take a note of it and then deal with it from there.
So it really is feeding back into that whole idea of being able to communicate with each other, the teamwork, and a little bit of your own initiative as well. As you say, if you're able to deal with it, and if not, go to the next step. Yeah, okay, very good, yeah. And then I suppose, Mike, if there was somebody talking to you about it at the moment, what kind of advice would you give to somebody that might be looking to go into work in the retail sector, do you think? To go into it, I suppose the various modern technologies now, from where it was 5 years ago when I got back into it, everything is now appearing online faster than the print media, if you like, or radio, the like. That everything is all online now. That the likes of Facebook back 5 years ago when I got into it, I haven't got into Instagram or Twitter or TikTok or any of these things yet. Yeah.
But the younger ones, the 18s and the over 18s up, that they're moving with the times, and that's where they're finding things. But the one thing I would say, regardless of where they are, go to their local jobs club or someone like that, and put your information down on a CV. You'll be guided by the likes of a Helen, Larkin or Liam Doyle or one of those. You'll be guided as to what to put on it, what not to put on it, and that in itself is what a manager would look for. They look down through the CV and take your points from there.
Yeah. And I suppose it builds back up on, you touched on it earlier, any experience that you might have had down through the years, it'll start coming up and you'll remember it when you're sitting down doing a CV with somebody and they're asking you the right questions and the prompting questions and things like that.
And then the one thing I said as well then is have a good local knowledge of your own area, because you will get the outsiders that will come in and they'll be looking for a particular shop that they'll have the address of, but we're now in postcodes and things like that can now be typed into Google or Google Maps or whatever, and they'll pinpoint them now. But to have a good local knowledge of your area is a big help. Yeah.
And Mike, finally, just to finish up, we touched on it already with a couple of the presentations there. From your own experience, what's your take on the whole computers and using the tills and things like that? Is it something that people would need a little bit of knowledge of and to help them going into it?
They need a certain bit of knowledge, but then at the same time, and Cliona touched on it and Trish touched on it as well, that when you do go into the job, you are trained on how to use the tills and all that kind of thing. And even at times myself, even though I'm there with that at the time, I still had to go back and ask to be guided on how to get back into something that.
Yeah. And again, I suppose that feeds into the whole teamwork as well, doesn't it? And being able to talk to your colleagues and help each other out. Okay, Mike, thank you very much. Great informative information from on the ground, if somebody working in the industry straight off, and many congratulations on your years of work there, Mike. And we're all well used to meeting Mike outside in the shop next door to us, so we'll see you on a regular basis. I'd like to move us on, please, and how apt that Helen is up next, as Mike touched on the Job Club there. I'd like to welcome Helen Larkin from the Job Club here in Newcastle West, based in the West Limerick Resources office as well.
Just hi, everyone. Thanks, Adrian. As Adrian said, my name is Helen and I work in the Jobs Club in West Limerick Resources, and I'm the Jobs Club leader. I suppose just to give you a little bit of information about the Jobs Club, we are contracted and funded by the Department of Social Protection, and we provide one-to-one supports, group workshops, and facilities to assist people in their job search. We work with unemployed or underemployed individuals, and I suppose most of our clients would come through the intro system, which is a referral system. So most of our clients come from social welfare. We do have a walk-in service, and when I mean by that, I suppose people passing the building would see Jobs Club, or they might see something on Facebook or leaflets, posters, anything like that. So anyone that just, I suppose, would walk into the building when they were able to walk into the building and have a chat with us just to see what we can do or what we could do for them. Now, obviously, due to COVID, we weren't meeting people on a one-to-one basis or face-to-face. So we dealt with people mostly through online, like phone, internet, email, that type of thing. So hopefully, look, going forward, we will be able to meet our clients again on a one-to-one basis, which would be, which is ideal, really, because you can sit and have a chat with them. I suppose Jobs Club facilities, then, as you can see up there, the use of the internet. If anybody has a problem with the internet and that, then they can call to the Jobs Club and we can give them a hand if they want to have a look through the internet for job vacancies. Photocopying, again, photocopying their CV, cover letters, anything like that. Stationery and postage, again, very important. Like if you're unemployed, the cost of postage now and envelopes and things like that. So again, we can provide all that in the Jobs Club. Developing your job seeking skills, again, the one-to-one tuition and group training sessions, again, hopefully they will be back and up and running before too long more. Obviously with COVID, we couldn't be meeting groups, so hopefully that will get back up and running again. CV preparation, it's just great to see Mike there, because we did help Mike out, and I remember him going for the job next door, so it was great. So helping people with their CV, and I think Trish covered it as well there from Supervalu. Very important to have a good CV, a short CV, a precise CV, you know, not 4 or 5 pages long like some people, you know, we get in CVs. So we can help to, I suppose, target their CVs for a particular job or industry. We can update old CVs, we can do a new CV. So anything like that, we can help people with. Again, just to let people know, we also work with local CE schemes and LTIs, any LTI training groups. And again, with TOOS as well, which is part of West Limerick Resources. We help participants there as well with their CV or maybe interview training, whatever. Down there, then training covering, like this is the I suppose the workshops that we cover. What we cover in the workshops would again be CV preparation, the cover letter writing, which is very important. Any online job searching techniques, and I suppose very important would be your interview skills, and we can set up a mock interview for anybody that's going for an interview. Also outreach service, which is another facility. A lot of people don't have transport, so they might not be able to come to us in Newcastle West where we're based, so we can go to you. So any facilities that's there, like the community centres and that, we can so we can go anywhere in the community, Abbeyfeale, Brackheal, Askeaton, and we can meet people there when possible. So that's the outreach service. So I suppose that's it really for the Jobs Club. If anybody wants to contact us, I'm Helen. There are our details. We will help anybody that wants to get back into work or need help with their CV, anything like that. So don't hesitate to contact us, and our details are there. Nicole is also in the Jobs Club with me.
Great.
So just thanks for your time.
Thank you very much
listening.
indeed. It's very comprehensive there, and I think the Job Club is pretty well known around the West Limerick area at this time. And of course, we all work very closely together there in the SICAP RES and the Job Club together for many years.
Certainly, yeah.
Now, thank you, Helen, very much, and well done. I'd really like to welcome Mary Murphy now, another colleague of ours from West Limerick Resources. You're very welcome, Mary, and thank you for taking your time today to come to us. Mary, you're going to talk to us a little bit about the TOOS programme, and you are one of the TOOS supervisors with the programme at West Limerick Resources.
So TOOS is a national work activation programme for people who are on the live register, and eligibility would be that you have to be on the live register for a minimum of 12 months. Overall responsibility for this programme is with the Department of Social Protection. However, West Limerick Resources are responsible for the implementation of the programme at local level, so within the West Limerick area. The aim of the programme basically is to provide a 12-month work placement for those who are looking for employment. We work with non-for-profit or voluntary organisations, so that's where we get our placements from. So in terms of retail, we would work with organisations such as Sue Ryder, St Vincent de Paul, charity shops, and NCBII as well in Newcastle West, for example. The selection process for TOOS is in two ways. The first mainly is that it's a random selection from the live register. So candidates are selected from a random basis. The Department of Social Protection will then offer them an opportunity to participate in the programme. If they are interested, those candidates then are referred to West Limerick Resources, and it is at that point that the two supervisors meet with them, and we have a kind of an informal interview really, where really we're just finding out what the person is interested in and then finding a suitable work placement for them. So the placement then consists of a 12-month placement. The person works 19.5 hours a week in a real working environment. So I suppose touching on going back from the very start, what Trish said about the requirements of the job. During the 12 months, they have an opportunity to gain the skills relevant to the jobs. So it can be anything from, like, they work 19.5 hours a week. So even from the start, it's about having a routine, learning maybe about timekeeping, punctuality, and then the details of the job itself. So it can be anything from customer service, obviously, is huge. Learning to work how to use tills, for example, handling of cash. They would be very much front of shop roles and duties, and then the back of shop would be where they're sorting donations, maybe getting stuff for recycling, housekeeping. It might be window shop preparation. So there's a whole variety of skills where the person can learn within the 12 months. We also provide manual handling training for the candidates while they're on the programme, which again is a valuable resource because that certificate is valid for 3 years. And often employers look for that now when they are looking for candidates. It's also relevant to know, I suppose, that a person is free to leave the programme. However, at any point during the 12 months, if they were to get full-time employment somewhere else, or if they wanted to return to education, so they're not tied into it either. A person can also work part-time in another job whilst they're on the TOOS programme, so long as they keep their commitment of the 19.5 hours per week. There is a top-up payment. So if a person, Adrian, is on a basic, we'll say €203 payment, there's a top-up from social welfare of €22.50. They also maintain all their other additional benefits, such as fuel allowance, etc., etc. For a candidate actually that's under 25 and would be on the reduced social welfare payment, which I think is maybe approximately around €100, their payment does go up to €225 as well. So there is an additional benefit there as well as gaining all the work experience. There's a financial benefit there as well. As I said, I suppose the whole aim of the programme is to get the person work ready so that they are able to return to the workforce. As Helen said as well, obviously we try and get people, making sure they have a CV when they're ready to leave the programme as well. So we would refer them to Helen to avail of that service, and also any services that can be provided by yourselves under the Rural Employment Service. And
I suppose, Mary, I'll come in there actually. You're dead right. And I suppose in relation to today's webinar on retail, there's quite an opportunity through the TOOS programme for gaining experience in that particular sector. Isn't that right, from what you were saying there, and the different placements that you have?
And I would have to say, Adrian, that like, for example, I would supervise in Abbeyfeale, and I have had candidates who did actually return to the full employment after TOOS in retail positions. And, you know, that experience did play a good role in that. So really, it's a very good program to complement anyone who is actively looking for work and try. Oh, actually, and I did forget to mention, now there is a self-referral process as well. So if a candidate is eligible, i.e. they are in receipt of job seekers for 12 months, they can either come into ourselves in the TOOS office or go to their local social welfare office and put themselves, self-refer, put themselves forward for the program. Their case officer will decide if they're eligible or not, and if they approve it, the social welfare would then refer their name down to ourselves again, and we can work from there. So
okay, that's a very interesting way that they can, when they can self-refer, when somebody can come in and put their own name forward. It gives people great freedom if they want to look at a particular area of experience. You know, I've always seen the TOOS programme as a huge opportunity for people to gain experience that mightn't have had it previously, or that want to change what it is they were doing maybe previously. Well, Mary, thank you very much indeed. I think the TOOS programme is invaluable to the whole area of helping and support people back into employment. And I've always known from working with the TOOS office that the whole retail sector is especially suited, I suppose, to the TOOS placement, and it could be very useful to people to gain experience, you know. Mary, thanks very much. And of course, contact details and that through West Limerick Resources as well, if anybody is interested. Eddie, I'll come to you if you don't mind. You're one of our last presenters, speakers, just to give us a few minutes in relation, and it has been mentioned there a couple of times, in relation to the SICAP supported rural employment service here with us at West Limerick Resources. Thanks, Eddie.
So I suppose just to talk very quickly, I know, again, I'm kind of conscious of time, so I'm not going to go into a big long spiel. So the Rural Employment Service under the SICAP programme, which is the Social Inclusion and Community Activation Programme under West Limerick Resources. And our role is around supporting people around employment and training. One of our biggest goals really, and it is a goal, is around supporting individuals that are coming from all different types of backgrounds, all different nationalities, which is a growing, there's lots of growing communities in West Limerick from different nationalities, economic migrants, and other people that may need support as well. So it really doesn't matter your background, it kind of matters where you are right now and where you see yourself getting to in the future. So as I said, what we do most of the time is around goal setting and figuring out where people are right now and where they want to get to. And then we support them on that path. That might be in relation to personal development. It might be in relation to starting out with figuring out what is a good CV. The next part of it is around training, what you need to upskill into, around the type of work that you want to get into in the future. Then that creates links. We do an awful lot of signposting into other agencies, and I suppose we have a great network of different agencies that we work with in the county and the city. And as much as possible, we support people in their applications for different types of training. So we would offer a certain amount of base training, which is the likes of manual handling and safe pass, all those base programs. And then we would support people to make applications into Fetch, into LCFE, onto UL, whatever the kind of training that they're looking for. It is a very individualized piece of work that we do, so it's very much one-to-one. We do a certain amount of group work as well. And then there are other elements then that we support people in their own lives, around transport, around family support. If there's a need for childcare, people can be supported around that. And as much as possible, then it's more of a holistic view that we take. So really what we're going to be doing as part of this series, like we've done a kind of a series of the different types of work environments. And as much as possible, if people are interested in one of those or any of them or all of them, whichever the case may be, you can come to us and look for some support, really. That's the most important thing. And as I say, it is about figuring out where you are right now. And for some people, they don't really know the next step of what they want to do. So it's kind of important sometimes to get an outside perspective and have a conversation with somebody that's not in your own circle and that can give you some advice in the right direction to take. So I think that's kind of enough, because I'm conscious of time for Q&A and stuff. So all our details will be on the contact details. There'll be phone numbers and emails and all that kind of jazz. So just give us a call. It's as simple as that.
Thanks very much, folks. I think we'll go straight into Q&A if that's okay. I had seen a few questions coming in already. There's a question here now. Is there help with transport with the training in Newcastle West? I'd say, Sheila, they were aiming that at the localised training. So the question is there help with transport? I presume it's somebody that's living outside of the Newcastle West town area.
Right, we wouldn't have any capacity to help with transport unless you would through the RES, but I suppose the local link would be the...
Yeah, I was just going to say it. I think it probably would depend on where they're coming from and times of courses and things like that. But certainly it would be worthwhile telephoning ourselves at the Rural Employment Service at West Limerick Resources to see what the situation is, but also directly to the local link office here, local link Limerick and Clare, the bus service here in Newcastle West. I know for one particular course they have put on buses previously, so it certainly is worth asking the question in relation to that. Thanks, Sheila. Cliona, this is a question for you. I haven't read it beforehand now, so I'll just read it out. Hi, Cliona. I'm wondering what kind of experience one would need to teach on the retail studies or fashion styling course, etc. I have 30 years experience in the fashion industry and retail management, buying and as a manufacturer's agent, and I'm a very strong merchandiser. I would love to get into teaching, etc. A different take on what today is about, Cliona.
Wow, fantastic experience there, and in retail, which would be an asset to any teaching position on a retail program. But I suppose the starting point there would be for to be teaching council registered. So that would be the person's probably their starting point to get teaching council registered. There is also, if one was interested in teaching specifically in FET, in further education and training, Mary Immaculate College have a fantastic postgraduate diploma in adult and further education. But your starting point there would be to look into getting teaching council registered. But fantastic, a wealth of experience there to bring to a teaching position on a retail program.
Absolutely, and certainly worth looking into a little bit further as to the possibilities of what the next first step might be, as you say, the teaching council, and to look at what kind. I suppose I'm conscious from where you're coming from, Cliona, as well, with the Limerick and Clare Education and Training Board and through the Department of Education, that teaching council registration is vital there.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Maybe a little bit more information needed there before any CV would be sent in for teaching there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to move on because of time. Mike, there's a question for yourself here. So if you could take off your mic there. Can you ask Mike what kind of hours he works in retail? Are they very varied or fixed per week, please? Is part-time an option?
Not that I'm aware of, Adrian. My hours are fixed. I'd either be an early morning shift. A morning shift for me could start at half 5 in the morning and run till 3 in the afternoon, or the shift would go from 3 in the afternoon to 11 o'clock closing time. And within those, either of those functions would have a different operation. If it's in the morning, we're getting the shop ready for the shop opens at 6. So we'd have certain things to do before we'd open. At the 6 o'clock, they're actually getting the newspapers in and getting them up on the display stands or whatever, and moving stuff out onto the forecourt, or at the end of the day, bringing what's outside back into the shop, shutting the shop down, doing the general tidy up in and around the shop itself, and getting it ready for the next day's retail again.
Yeah, you're really after touching there on something that Trish said earlier. It's a hard job, just talking about the starting times, the finishing times. So it's that kind of, I suppose, knowledge that people need to know about as well when they're looking at this type of work.
And the one thing with it as well, from what we find, no 2 days are the same. We would have a certain kind of a local base, if you like, that we have local customers, but from what I found over the length of time is that it's mostly a passing trade that we have, that they're either travelling to Dublin or travelling down into Kerry, and then working kind of a halfway house, if you like.
Yeah,
That's
and of course the shop provides everything.
Find that they're half, if they're heading to Kerry, all parts of Kerry, they find that when they come to here, that we're sort of a halfway house. They come in for their teas and coffees and whatever is sort of to break the journey for them, if you like.
I think you're dead right, Mike. I remember that as a child myself, but anyway. And Mike, there's another question in there. Did you get any other training when you started working, like manual handling or food handling training? Was there any of that type of training available, Mike?
A lot of that would be done sort of in-house. We said that you'll be guided in that, and I deal mostly now with the forecourt side of things.
Okay.
Where I look after the cold briquettes, the starter 6, the logs, and with the forecourt itself, that we do get an odd complaint from time to time that maybe some of the pumps would be not filling as fast as people would like, and I take a note of that and maybe let them build up, and then bring it to the attention of a floor manager on the day or the store manager herself, and they take it to the next level there.
For maybe service or cleaning or whatever it might be.
I found also that in the early days, if I needed stuff for the storekeepers, we call it, for the likes of gas and coal and brick and stuff, that they had the contact numbers when I started first, but they've, over the course of time, they've now passed them on to me, and I have that sort of under my control now, that they've left me with that side of it, and it's all about taking the pressure off of them, and
and it's the sharing of responsibility, and the longer you're there, the more responsibility you're given.
If you like, that they've I've worked myself into that position now, that they've passed that. The contact details that I need, they've now passed them down to me, and they let me. To mention the deal outside here, they've given me the ball, and now they're letting me run with it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's great, Mike. Thank you for answering those questions.
Pleasure.
Helen, there's one for you there, if you don't mind. Can you meet people in person in the Jobs Club at the moment?
Not at the moment, Adrian. The office isn't even open. As you know yourself, it's not open to the public yet. But we're just waiting, I suppose, for guidelines, even from DSP. They're actually working remotely as well at the moment, any of the case officers and things there. So look, not at the moment. But as I say, if anybody did come to the door and I was in the office, then I wouldn't turn them away. I would actually, I would go and have a chat with them at the door and that. But
it's just the fact that you're working remotely for a lot of days yourself, and not always there.
For most of the time, I do be in the office a couple of days a week. But as I say, look, hopefully, if things straighten out with COVID, we will be able to get back to work in some normality and be able to meet people in the office and that again.
Okay. And I suppose all depends on national guidelines as well, so we're guided by them. And finally, folks, Cliona, I think this is for you in relation to on your presentation. Can you tell me again, how long is the higher diploma and the entry requirements? I think you had a higher diploma there listed at level 6, had you?
There is in the full-time provision, the full-time course, we have a QQI level 6 advanced certificate in business, and that is full-time. So that would run from September to May, and it would be Monday to Friday, September to May. And also then in our part-time provision, there's the higher diploma in human resource management, and that's 28 weeks. So that would run for the academic year in the evening time. I think it's a Thursday evening, but you can check that out on our website. If you go to our website and go to the part-time courses, it will have information on that.
Yeah, and I'm very familiar with your website myself, very easy to follow. So I would encourage people to go onto the website and follow on from there, if that's okay. Eddie, I don't see any further questions unless I've missed anything.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, okay. Folks, thank you very much. We are gone a little over. My apologies. We'll all welcome Finn back. Maybe she's doing better timekeeping than I am. Really enjoyed the webinar, really enjoyed the content, and delighted that we will be able to, I suppose, share this information through our YouTube channel at West Limerick Resources over the coming weeks as well. Thank you all very much. I know some of you are joining us again next week for our 4th and final webinar on administration, and we really appreciate that. Eddie, thank you for convening. Thank you very much to everybody, and have a good day.